Hey, My Majesty. So I want to talk about becoming everything for everybody, right? Being a walking contradiction. A lot, like people, some people told me before that I was a walking contradiction, and it hurt. And I'm like, okay, am I a walking contradiction? Like, yes, I am. Because I can adapt. I'm like a chameleon, right? And that's why people, they laugh and say, girl, you can talk to anybody. You can just make friends with the wall. I can, but I don't, right? But when it's time to connect, I know how to connect with people and become whatever they need. And they open up, like within the first 5 minutes of a conversation, I don't know your darkest secret. And I don't even know how I got it. They just tell me. But people automatically feel that this is a judgment-free zone and a safe space. So when people feel that, whether they're conscious or not, they open up. But what I want to talk about is just learning to become that everything for everybody, so they will feel comfortable. The animals, the trees, everything will feel comfortable with you. And that the key here is to get out of slavery, to get out of limitation, to get out of, feeling like I have to be this way only. No, we need to learn balance. We need to learn to balance our masculine energies with our feminine energies. So for example, knowing when to be assertive, right, and when not to be. So there's a time that you need to assert yourself. When somebody is disrespecting your boundaries or disrespecting your autonomy, you need to be assertive. And you can add the feminine aspect by being gently assertive. So now you're combining the masculine and feminine energy. This is mastery. This is self-mastery. Okay, when you can be in balance and you've mastered yourself enough to know, I know when to be quiet, I know when to speak, I know when to walk, and I know when to rest. A lot of y'all overwork. It's disrespectful to yourself and it's disrespectful to the divine. That's out of balance. Learn when to rest. Rest is just as important as work. Okay? Action is just as important as dreaming and visualizing, right? Speaking is just as important as listening. So everything is equally important. If you just never speak, that's an issue. If you talk too much, that's an issue. So we need to learn to be in balance, because when we are not in balance, we become slaves, right? You drink too much, you eat too much, you talk too much. You don't know when to defend yourself and when to stand down. Now you a slave to the food. Now you a slave to the person. Now you a slave to the relationship, to the drug, to sex. You're having too much sex. Sex is good. But it's just like, do you have self-control? Are you in balance? Right? So the problem with our bodies, because when you are mentally, emotionally out of balance, spiritually out of balance, your body automatically reflects that, and so does your environment. So everything becomes out of balance. Your body, you start getting sick, you start getting runny nose, you start having diseases and all kind of disorders, and you're like, what is going on? You are out of balance. You have to be in balance. It's like walking on a tightrope, literally. And I cried. Like when I learned that the only way I can tap into my gifts and my healing abilities and everything that I have, like in order for all of that to be totally activated, I had to be in balance. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know when to heal and when not to? Because you can't heal everybody. Okay? Because that's what I was trying to do. You cannot fix the world. You cannot save the world. You cannot help everybody that comes by you, because then you'll end up hurting yourself. So it's like, well, I cried. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, I can't do this. This is too hard. Why can I just want to use my healing powers. I know. I just want to, please, just give. I know. That, honey, my spirit team laughed. They was like, girl, you is being a baby. Stop it. You just need to practice. You got it in you. You got it in you. We see it in you. If it wasn't possible, you wouldn't be where you are. And I'm like, okay, you're right. So I stopped crying. I learned to balance, right? And so right now I be in balance. I'll say like 90% of the time. Something happens, it'll throw me off, but then I'm like, okay, if I can't control it, I just have learned to, okay, everything is happening for a reason. Maybe I don't know why this isn't going my way, but it's for my highest and greatest good. So let me stay in balance. Let me stay in peace. Let me let go. Let me just take a nap. Sometimes you just need to go to sleep. Go to sleep, reset. It's like a reset. When you wake up, don't go back thinking about what you did. Now you're going to be back off balance. So if you feel like I'm too off balance, I can't even control my thoughts, go to sleep. Wake up, start over. Try again. Okay? So I just want y'all to know that you're not a slave. You're not a slave to the church. God is not making you pray this many times in order to get anything. That is not love. If I tell you, in order for me to marry you, in order for me to you know, hang out with you, you got to do this for me and you got to do that. I'm giving you ultimatums. That's not love. God is not a God of ultimatums. The Spirit wants you to be free. Unconditional love is unconditional freedom, which means you can do whatever you want, whether you deem it right or wrong. God will still love you and accept you. That doesn't mean that you will be connected to the divine or activated or be in your true self. But I'm just letting you know that you're not a slave. A lot of the people that are religious, they're slaves. It's like, I read my Bible 5 times a day. I got to quote this verse. I got to pray for this long. And then it becomes a burden and miserable. And then you become angry at God when you don't get what you want. You out of balance. That is not in balance because you did that. Okay. You're trying to manipulate or, I don't know, somebody to do something. And it's just like, if you come to me like, I'll wash your dishes and suck your toes. If you just, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you are a beggar. You weird, you know, like, no, we're not doing that. You're not a slave. Slaves are not in balance. When you can't stop drinking, you can't stop having sex with random strangers, you're not in balance, boo. I don't know. I don't know. But this ain't no judgment because I've been there. That's how I know so well. And like, if I can get out, you can get out. Come on out. Come up. I'm waiting on you. Let's go. Okay. So learn the masculine, the feminine with the energy, the inside with the outside, the as above, so below, right? Learn to balance your mind, body, and spirit. Keep things in harmony, right? Knowing when to do something and when not to. It's challenging, but I believe you can do it. I love you. Bye.